I'm really bored right now, so I want to deal with something funny. And this is going to be, excuse me, interesting because it's not something you'd expect me to deal with. Let's talk about Kanye West. He said slavery was a choice. Everybody's got to freak out. First of all, when he says shit, it's usually a publicity thing. But anyway, they took it as to mean slaves signed up to be slaves. I think what he was really talking about was a mindset that keeps people in slavery. At the peak of slavery, there were roughly 6 million slaves. There were about 8 million Americans, but only 25% of Americans actually owned slaves, meaning about 2 million people owned slaves. So roughly 3 slaves per person. In many cases, it was one slave owner earning a dozen slaves up to 100 slaves. Of course, my phone doesn't want to sit still, naturally. Less wealthy people had one slave. Had the slaves risen up, they could have defeated their masters or their owners or whatever you want to call them. Their mentality kept them from doing it. Pretty sure that's what Kanye West was talking about. And guess what? He's right. Had the slaves risen up, it would have been an ugly uphill battle, but it would have freed them to an extent. Remember that gun control and its roots are in the slave trade. They didn't want the slaves uprising. We're seeing that again today, by the way. Modern day Americans are going through a form of slavery as well. Our mindset is to keep us from resulting in uprising, keep us divided. It's the very same mindset that kept the slaves in chains. We're not free. We're being ruled, controlled, and robbed by the powers that be. We're just taking it. It's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. It's just a person thing. So the real question is, are you the slave or are you the master? Because there's no in between. Oh, and one last thing. Fuck you guys for making me defend Kanye West.